This is what spring looks like in our house. We've got potatoes that we're pulling out that have either sprouted or need to be fed to pigs. We're filling buckets back up with oatmeal and sugar for kombucha. We've got the cheese press out. This is really what it looks like. We're trying to sort through everything. And it means we can see what needs to be used up, what needs to be refilled. This is potatoes under here. I wanted to show you what it looks like underneath. This is what a hotbed looks like. This is where we put our kitchen waste, which is paper, any kind of cardboard, paper towels, that kind of thing. This is what it looks like. It's a massive compost pile. And the hay keeps it from stinking because it's carbon. Alright, this is the hotbed that the rabbits were on for most of the winter. Except for when they were in the greenhouse. So this one is full now. Household waste, sheep and goat manure, sawdust, paper waste, that kind of thing. I caught them in the act. See that duck? What he's doing, well, what she's doing, is she's getting in here to eat the red wrigglers. Red wrigglers love rabbit manure. And so they're putting their little snaky heads through and eating all my red wrigglers and the rabbit manure, because the rabbit manure is made out of alfalfa, which is a green, a legume which the ducks love, and so the ducks will eat all of my rabbit manure and there won't be any left for our garden. So I do have some more of these squares coming. These squares are like older than Paige. They're like 15 years old. They last forever, and I have some more coming, but they're not here yet. They were supposed to be here yesterday. Alright, so really what I've done here, I don't want it to be straight on manure, but I want there to be a little bit of fertilizer here. The reason for that is that those wood chips that are underneath this hay rabbit combination is very sterile and free of fertilizer. Hey, Kaya. Alright. So I had told Kaya to come and sort out anything that we couldn't use for pigs. So that one has quite a bit of green on it, but most of the others don't. Like that one's perfectly fine, it's just sprouted. And so if it has a lot of green on it, I'll plant with it, like that one. But if it doesn't have a lot of green on it, I don't want to waste it as seeds, because I got lots of seeds. And what we'll do instead is we'll feed it to pigs. Alright, Kaya, I'm going to have you take a lot of these in and cook them for the pigs. Alright, so I've never had a live potato rot in my root cellar. These ones were actually in buckets, so they couldn't even really breathe that well. The top was open, but they were stored in buckets. They have not rotted. They have only really sprouted very, very well. And so the reason that modern potatoes sprout is because they put sprout nip on them, which is a chemical that prevents the enzymes in the potato from sprouting the potato. So instead of sprouting, what the potato does is it rots. The reason why potatoes shrink as they sprout is because they're using up all the moisture on the inside of the potato to get those sprouts out and going. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and these are pretty moist too.
Yeah, they are. They're very moist. All right, let's get the rest of it done. Come stick it here in the middle and we'll work that way.
Okay.
Right. All right, so they're in a bed of alfalfa hay and rabbit manure. And that is on top of sawdust, and that is on top of goat and sheep manure. So what we're going to do is put now a layer of sawdust on top of it, and the reason for that is to give them a layer to work their way through, but they will still have enough food here at their own layer where they are starting that the sawdust on top of them won't be too much. And then we're going to cover it. What are you doing, kitty? This is why this little soul right here, this is why we put bird netting on the hotbeds, because she is so helpful. Huh. So helpful. Stop trying to climb it. You're helpful. Huh? You're super helpful. Or this wire that's used for chain link fences. 10 years old, just bought it. I think that's a pretty good investment. I'm still using these old ones. They're starting to get kind of brittle from being out in the weather, but you know, pretty good. 10 years. This is the first time I put a hotbed underneath a tree. As you can see, I've got a tree there, I've got a tree above here. Tree is right above us, tree to the side. I've got lots of trees, lots of shade. So we'll see. First time for everything. Okay, this sawdust chopped gunk. I don't know if I can find a spot to show you, but it's been very moldy. And it came to us moldy. Like it was like the tree that it was cut from was moldy when it was cut. And there's been a lot of junk in the air from it. I'm concerned about what it's going to do to the potatoes. So on this side, we're going to do the gunky stuff and see if they care. And on this side, we're going to do the sawdust that came from the actual lumber plant, lumber yard, where they saw their own lumber. That stuff has always been really nice, even in texture without a lot of lumps in it. This stuff has been tricky to work with. And it smells bad. All right, I'm gonna get the right size for this bird netting so that I can cut it. Alright, so they have their sawdust on them. We'll compare the two, see how they like it. And we're going to put some frost cloth on it. Even though this has bottom heat, it has light bottom heat at this point because we haven't watered it. I'm not going to water it for a while because I don't want it to heat up and cook the potatoes.
We're putting these on those T-posts. That way they're not catching on these and breaking it. That way the cats can't get in.
You're gonna break it, honey, don't.
I know.
So we're looking at our new frost cloth that we just bought, and it's very, very thin, like thinner than paper, but more like tissue, like bathroom tissue. I'm concerned that it's going to get torn very easily. It's not the same quality that it was the last time I bought it last year. And so if you have the capacity to buy a big roll of plastic and a big roll of frost cloth for future use, it might be a good time to do it.
Mom, you should really show them how thin this is.
I will once we have it on.
It's like worse than
Stop. These are the boards that we interchange out on top of the hotbed. They're cut to be long enough for any of the beds. So I don't want to use these ones to hold down the fabric because they're already cut to size. There you go. Chopsticks. All right, where did I put the stapler? And this is the side, the wind comes from. Wind comes from there. And that's why it's attached permanently on this side. Hey guys. So since my last video showing those potatoes being planted, our cold has been so extreme that we haven't been able to lift any of the cloths off. Hey babies! Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. There's our frozen hotbed, but it is definitely steam. I don't know. Can you guys see the steam? Oh, it's hot. Okay, so hot. I can feel the heat coming off of it. So I don't know if it will have cooked the potatoes or if it will just have protected the potatoes. I would bet it's in the 70s in there. The reason when you first start a hotbed that you don't want to use plastic like regular plastic is because it will trap the steam in and definitely cook things. So this can breathe a little bit so it won't cook the potatoes. Fence thing, but it came off. And so you see that it got all torn up. I'm going to have to repair that, and I'm going to have to attach that plastic cover so that it'll actually stay on even in a really high wind. So we're going to try that again so you can see it. Steam. All right, and that's what a hotbed does. This one is not steaming. See? No steam. This is an old bed. That's why the potatoes need those covers on them. But there we go. This one will not be steaming. It's an old bed. I can't even get in there. It's too frozen. Okay, so that one you can see so much ice. Not warming up. All right, everything in here is fine. Everything in here is fine. I've got potatoes and everything, and they're just fine. It did freeze in here, obviously, but didn't care. So, all my cold sensitive stuff is on the right-hand side with covers. All my greens and everything are on that side without covers. And again, I am writing a book about the $100 greenhouse. It works better than my big commercial greenhouse. Even though it looks so crappy and cheap, it's thorough. So, there we go.